There are moments in life where heaven answers and we say no. Not because we don't believe, not because we didn't pray, but because it didn't look like the answer we expected. What if the very thing you've been praying for already came and you almost said no? What if the door opened, but it didn't match your checklist, your timeline, or your conditions? And what if, by rejecting it, you didn't just miss the answer, you missed a greater blessing attached to it? This is Beyond Belief, where we challenge comfortable Christianity and step into transformational truth. Because sometimes the greatest danger is not that God is silent, it's that He has already spoken and we didn't recognize His voice. Welcome to Beyond Belief. Today, we're stepping into a conversation that might just shift how you see prayer forever. Not how you pray, not why you pray, but how to recognize when God has already answered. Have you ever prayed for something and then immediately started telling God how to answer it? Lord, I trust you completely. As long as it looks like this, feels like this, and happens by Friday. We laugh, but we've all done it. And here's the tension. What if God answers your prayer, but not in the way you approved? There was a season in my life where I was praying intensely. Clarity, direction, opportunity. I had a vision in my mind, what it would look like, how it would feel, who would be involved. And then the opportunity came, but it didn't look right. It didn't come with the recognition I expected. It felt smaller than the vision I had in my head. It stretched me. It made me uncomfortable. So I hesitated. I questioned it, and I almost walked away. And I remember this moment, clear as day, the quiet thought in my spirit. What if this is the answer, and you're about to reject it? That moment didn't just challenge me, it exposed me. Because I realized I didn't just want God's answer, I wanted it my way. Now we've all been there, praying for provision, but ignoring the job that feels beneath us. Praying for healing, but resisting the process because it's slow. Praying for relationships, but dismissing the person because they don't fit our ideal. We don't reject God directly. We just keep saying no to the way He answers. Let's go into Scripture. Isaiah 55 verse 8 to 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. God doesn't just answer prayers, He answers them from a higher perspective. There's a story often told about a man trapped in a flood, and he prays, God, save me. A boat comes and he says, no thanks, God will save me. Another boat comes, same response. A helicopter arrives and he waves it off. Eventually, he drowns. He stands before God and asks, why didn't you save me? And God responds, I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. Sometimes the answer to your prayer requires your participation, and sometimes it comes disguised as inconvenience. In John 5, Jesus asks a man who has been sick for 38 years, do you want to get well? The man doesn't say yes. He explains why it hasn't happened. And Jesus responds, not with sympathy, but with instruction. Get up, pick up your mat, and walk. What if nothing was missing except his willingness to move? What if the answer was already present, but required obedience, not explanation? God's answer often comes as instructions, not finished outcomes. So here's the question. What have you been praying for that God may have already answered, but you didn't recognize it because it didn't match your expectations? It has to feel easy. It has to happen fast. It has to look impressive. It has to make sense immediately. And if it doesn't, we assume it isn't God. What if the thing you've been resisting is the doorway to the life you've been praying for? What if your breakthrough came quietly, without announcement, without perfection, and you almost missed it? What if the doorway is already open and obedience is the key you've been refusing to use? Imagine living differently, not just praying, but discerning, not just asking, but recognizing, not just believing God can answer, but trusting how He answers. God's answers don't always meet your expectations, but they always exceed your understanding. If you only accept answers that look the way you imagined, you will miss the ones God designed. So next time, do something different. Before you pray, surrender the outcome. Say, God, I trust your answer, even if it doesn't look like mine. And then, watch carefully, because the answer may not be obvious, but it will always be intentional. May you have the courage to recognize the unexpected. May you have the humility to accept what doesn't fit your plan. And may you have the faith to step into the answer, even when it stretches you. Thank you for listening to Beyond Belief. If this episode challenged you, share it with someone who might be praying but struggling to see. God answers. The question is, will you recognize it? Until next time, grace and peace. God bless.